Of the year 2026. Good afternoon. Welcome to Weekend Central. This bulletin is coming to you live from the news app here at Adesawe Kanda. We're live on Facebook as TV3 Ghana and on DSTV is channel 279. My name is Josh Quinny. The headlines. With Ghana witnessing sharp rise in cybercrime in 2025, with reported cases jumping more than 50%, we'll engage a fraud expert on what we can do to stay clear of fraudsters this year, 2026. New mortuary at Pandai Evangelical Church of Ghana Hospital case eases burial delays, cuts transport costs, and brings relief to grieving families district-wide. Well, we have details of these stories and many more coming up in the next 60 minutes if you spend your time with me. Remember, you can get interactive with us. We are live on Facebook as TV3 Ghana. Let's begin from here. Ghana saw a sharp rise in cybercrime in 2025, with reported cases jumping more than 50% compared to the previous year. The cost to individuals and businesses was in the millions of cedis in losses. Online fraud, cyberbullying, and blackmail remain the most common threats as Ghanaians increasingly transact and interact digitally. The Cybersecurity Authority and Ghana Police Service stepped up efforts to combat the incident, from enhanced digital forensic units to public awareness campaigns. Experts say stronger cybersecurity practices, better education, and collaboration between government, private sector, and communities are crucial to protecting Ghanaians in 2026 and beyond. Well, Richard Kumado is a fraud and security consultant. He joins me via Zoom for more discussions on this. Mr. Kumado, what are the most common fraud and security threats Ghanaians should be watching out for the year 2026?
Considering where we left off last year, and from your introduction before you put me on, it means that many more people are getting onto online businesses and onto critical online platforms. Irrespective of whichever platform you use, particularly those who use online platforms for businesses and for personal interactions, I will urge them to do what we call social media due diligence, which is very important. Then they must also live a hygienic social media lifestyle so that they will escape the threat from cyber criminals who might want to do profiling on them. But then again, if you are a small business or you are a commercial business and you will need help with cyber security tools in the form of preventiveness, then you will need to speak to the Cybersecurity Authority and they will provide guidance in that regard. And for those of us or for many of our people whose vulnerabilities may be exploited, it is just proper you speak to the Cybersecurity Department at the Ghana Police Headquarters. And working together with the police service and the Cybersecurity Authority to all the professionals within the space, I believe 2026 we can do much better than what we saw in 2025.
Richard, I'm yet to meet anyone who doesn't have an experience about mobile money fraud, and it seems that it now happens through mobile money and social media. What simple steps can ordinary Ghanaians take to protect themselves?
People you meet online are not your friends. MTN, for that matter, will never call you and be asking you for your pins. So it means that public education and awareness creation should be something we should carry out throughout the whole year. Each year in October is a cybersecurity month that all of us go out and provide cybersecurity education and create awareness on various platforms across the country. But it seems to me that to the extent that most of our people are coming online, and today most people live virtually their life online, education should be from January to December. But predominantly, people you meet online are not your friends. A stranger is not your friend. And that is why due diligence is key. And that is why hygienic social media lifestyle is key. And that is why when you lack clarity, you might want to seek professional help from the professionals or from the Cybersecurity Authority. And when your back is against the wall, that your vulnerabilities have been exploited in one way or the other, being it from mobile money or from you accessing any of the virtual access platforms because the law has been passed, you might want to speak to the police or speak to your bankers in that regard.
Richard, so what warning signs should people look out for to quickly identify scam before it's too late?
The basic ones that happen on WhatsApp groupings that your number has been hacked is somebody asking you for money. You might want to find out to authenticate it before you send money. When they hack your email or they come through social engineering, then you might have a number of people asking you for friend requests or sending you unnecessary emails, and they're just setting a trap for you to fall in. It's also important to say that your offline activities have influence on what happens to you online. So, as you live within the digital space, personal prudence is key, and social media due diligence is key, and financial due diligence in that regard is very key. Once you run into difficulty, speak to your bank, speak to your network provider, speak to the cybersecurity authority, and speak to the police officers at the cybersecurity department.
Okay, if someone suspects that they have been targeted or already scammed, what should they do immediately?
If there's a particular number or there's a particular person bothering you in terms of bullying, you can report, but the immediate step is to block them. Because the phone is yours, the media platform is yours. That is also to say that be mindful of the sites you visit and be mindful of the platforms you play in and be mindful of the social media pages you belong to. Some pages can lead you into trouble, and some pages may not promote your image or your brand, or some pages can create identity crisis for you. You have a personal responsibility, and all of us have a duty of care irrespective of whichever platform we play on.
Okay. Richard, let me just, before you go, this is a personal encounter. I remember somewhere last year, I deposited some 10,000 cedis in my mobile money account. Some few hours later, I got people trying to scam me. Does this very confirm the reports that some people are these telcos giving reports to these scammers?
It could also be the point of the transaction. I had a similar experience. I did a transaction of 5,000 Ghana cedis. Within 3 minutes, I began to have a call, and they are asking me all manner of questions which form part of the usual tricks they play on people. And so that you see it as part of the field security risk assessment. We've done it across the whole country. And there are some particular areas that are known for high intensity crime areas.
Yeah.
And we tell the banks and we tell personal individuals and we tell businesses to be mindful when you stay in a high intensity crime area. Okay. Because individuals might not know these areas, be mindful of the portal you are using and be mindful of the area you are using and be mindful of the vendor you are transferring the money or sending money to somebody. Okay. There was another example where they asked that I have won a prize and the prize I won was gold. And before I can access the prize, I need to pay 4,000 euros. And so I asked the guy to follow up, and he came through telephone call, and I asked him to go and check my background and read my profile on social media. And that is how come they never go back. So I use it as an example, and I spread it across that these are some of the things they may use. But it's a usual thing, and it's a minor thing. Yeah. One of the difficulties we also face is that in as much as we provide public education and create awareness, some citizens will say that I'm playing on and I want to see the end. Curiosity kills the cat. Naivety and curiosity and lack of knowledge may also create some level of vulnerabilities for you. Sure. But above all, once there are vulnerabilities, speak to the police, speak to your friends within the cyberspace, and speak to the cybersecurity authority people. And you see the speed at which the police are coming after them. I believe in 2026, the 24-hour to 74-hour the police have set for themselves is going to work greatly to the benefit of citizens of this country.
Richard, thank you so much. It's always a pleasure tapping your expertise on topical issues of this sort. Richard Kumador is a security and fraud consultant. And if you're just tuning in, you're watching Weekend Central here on TV3 in More News this afternoon. The Ministry of Finance has highlighted strong macroeconomic gains and key structural reforms recorded in 2025, noting that the measures implemented have contributed to stabilizing the economy, boosting growth and restoring predictability and public financing. In a summary released by the ministry, Ghana recorded GDP growth of 6.1% in the first 3 quarters of 2025, compared with 5.7% during the same period in 2024, the fastest growth rate since 2019. And non-oil GDP, regarded as the most accurate measure of real economic activity and job creation, also posted robust expansion of 7.5% over the same period, up from 5.7% in 2024. According to the ministry, Ghana's external payment position remained strong throughout 2025. The trade balance recorded a surplus of $8.5 billion as at the end of October 2025, a significant jump from the $2.8 billion surplus recorded a year earlier. Away from issues relating to finance, a NEMOS task force deployed in the Eastern region on Saturday, 3rd December 2025, arrested 2 Chinese nationals, Li Yongjin and Nu Qinghao, at Pankase in the Brim North District for engaging in illegal mining activities and the illegal operations, while the 2 foreign galamseyers reportedly caused severe destruction of forest and cocoa farmlands while polluting local streams, including the Brim River. The task force immobilized 2 excavators used by the suspects by removing their monitors and control boards, rendering the machines inoperative due to the immediate unavailability of low-bed services. Several other illegal mining equipment and makeshift structures facilitating the operations were destroyed or burnt on site. The team, in addition, seized a Toyota Tundra pickup, registration number AS812020, used by the suspects at the site. Authorities have emphasized that operations like this have serious environmental consequences, and the task force remains committed to combating illegal mining activities across the region. And the government of Ghana has expressed strong alarm over the unauthorized invasion of Venezuela by the United States and the abduction of President Nicolas Maduro and his wife, Cecilia Flores, early Saturday, 3rd January 2026. In an official statement, Ghana condemned the unilateral use of force, describing such acts as violation of the United Nations Charter. The government emphasized that assaults on international law and attempts of Weekend Central here on TV3. There's more news after this. Still this.
One thing I hate in my life is heat, or to sweat whilst I am asleep. That is why I don't joke with my air conditioners. Not just any air conditioner, but Franco air conditioners. It's good for the Ghanaian weather, and they are filled with R410 gas, which is very friendly to human beings, which is not harmful to human health. We have 1.5, 2.0, and 2.5 horsepower. So what are you waiting for? Walk into any Franco branch now and grab for yourself quality, affordable, and energy efficient air conditioner from Franco. Visit www.francotrading.com or call any of the numbers on your screen for enquiries or wholesale. Franco air conditioners, they are reliable, tried, and tested by all. Franco, home of quality and affordable air conditioners.
This Sunday on Hot Issues.
The reason why the currency depreciated, it plummeted and collapsed under the MPP, was that there was a shortage in supply. They simply didn't have enough dollars to supply the market.
What explanation would you give to a section of the public who would say that, well, the indicators are good, but I don't feel it?
Those who argue that way appear not to understand what they are talking about.
Over the past year, there are those who say that oral has failed. What's your
Again, it's one
reaction
of
to
those
that?
things that people say without any basis.
Is it
Sure.
the NDC going after Jean Mensa? With
As
that
far as I
petition?
know, the NDC has not brought a petition against Jim Mensah. The people who have petitioned are identifiable people. When the time comes, I'm sure she will know who her accusers are, and she will have an opportunity to confront them.
The issue of illegal mining.
Yes.
Has this government achieved much?
A lot of things are happening, even though I'll be the first to concede that we have not.
You're still watching Weekend Central here on TV3 with me, George Quinn. In more news this afternoon, the government of Ghana has expressed strong alarm over the unauthorized invasion of Venezuela by the United States and the abduction of President Nicolas Maduro and his wife, Cecilia Flores, early Saturday, 3rd January 2026. In an official statement, Ghana condemned the unilateral use of force, describing such acts as violations of the United Nations Charter, international law, and the sovereignty of state. The government emphasized that assault on international law and attempt at foreign occupation could have serious implications for global stability and the international order. Ghana also voiced concern over the statement by U.S. President Donald Trump, suggesting the U.S. would run Venezuela until a safe, proper, and judicious transition could occur, and that U.S. oil companies would be allowed to intervene. The statement describes such remarks as reminiscent of the colonial and imperialist era, setting a dangerous precedent for the modern world. Reaffirming its commitment to the principle of self-determination, Ghana insisted that only the Venezuelan people should decide their political and democratic future. You can get more updates on this very invasion if you go onto our website, it's 3news.com. For many residents in the Pandai district, preserving their dead relatives has been a major concern over these years, forcing them to bury immediately they die. Others who are able to transport their dead relatives to other places for preservation have had to be extra cost of transportation, putting them in financial difficulties. But the construction of a mortuary facility at the Evangelical Church of Ghana Hospital in Pandai is beginning to bring some relief. My colleague Christopher Marco has been engaging residents in Pandai on the challenges the people of Pandai go through preserving their dead relatives. Christopher, good afternoon. Thanks for joining us. Tell us how the people within the Pandai district are able to preserve the bodies of their dead relatives.
Yes, so George, in recent past, what the people do has to do with the fact that they either use local methods by applying some mixtures of herbs and other things on the body. That is if they are not burying immediately or depending on who the dead person is, so that they can preserve it for the number of days that they want to bury. This cannot span beyond 3 days. That is the local means of preservation. But if you want to keep your dead body, dead relative in a morgue, you'll have to travel far distances to Kratchi, Nchumuru, you have to go to Nkwanta, you have to also travel as far as Tamale and Yendi to be able to do so. This in the past brought some financial hardship to the people who wanted to preserve their dead bodies. Some residents actually have been expressing some concerns about what they went through in the past trying to preserve their dead bodies. Let's take a listen to them.
2021. In fact, my mom was with me. She stayed with me for a year, and after that, she passed on. And it happened around 10 p.m. on the 12th of March. And in fact, it was a situation that nobody will ever wish to be there, because I had to look for the local people who could help preserve the body. No, I'll turn here, nobody, turn here, nobody. So finally, what I thought was, okay, I have to transport the body from Pandai to a nearby mall. And even to get a means was a problem. And in fact, picking the body from here to Kratchi was also a very traumatized situation. When it comes, as far as there's a mall now, we'll be relieved by at least being able to preserve the body and then sit down and take a decision. Unlike now, the person is dead. You will now have to be looking for means of transport and then to the nearby mall. If you are not even lucky and it's happened like the place is full up, you don't know what to do then. So now that we have a mortuary closer, in fact, I personally fear, but for that experience, I've come to realize that it's a necessity. We need it at least to be able to preserve our dear ones when God decides to call them.
Sanipanu free mua. Said ye beya na yasie nu. Esan say ye benya ka na yedi na kwoti say yendi. Yedi no be ko Kratchi, yedi no be ko Nkwanta no na be ye hawa ma yede a. Ende na mpofuru mua kri na yesie nu. Eno so no na nka nya sa na ye pe no. Nanso abasa no ya fa mu saa. Nanso wo chiri ya bayi de. Ya da nyame asesa aboa yen. Every nipa no se wowu ende na wonim se ndende krikri no emba dia se na wotuo se ye bosumi o se ye bosumi nu a betumi de na koto na waboaboa wo ho na ya beyi ayi no prekope kama na we no de se yesie no kura na ayi no nsan ye ebesa beyi ayi na so mo kire de odamu nu na woboaboa ho na wa beyi ayi no prekope nti mo kire na aba no ayeye de na boa yenso.
Christopher, I want to believe there have been some form of intervention.
Yes, exactly, George. There have been some form of intervention. The ECG hospital in Pandai has constructed a mortuary facility to ease the burden of the residents transporting their dead relatives to faraway communities for preservation. And so for now, residents within the Pandai community and outside the Pandai community, but still in the Pandai district, are able to transport their dead relatives to the ECG hospital in Pandai for preservation. Let's take a listen to what authorities at the ECG hospital have been saying.
Those days, without the mortuary, when somebody passed on, now a number of things happen. The relatives are confused. Immediately it happens, they do not know what to do. Now, the patients who are in the ward, a lot of them go through a lot of stress because we do not have a place to preserve or to put the body, even temporarily. So some of them will run out of the ward. In fact, I've seen patients who left the ward on IV fluid, infusions, and they couldn't even walk. They would just crawl and hide themselves outside by the kids until the body is taken. And those that cannot even get up, then you see them lying down and they are shivering and shaking. And many of them get a lot of heart issues, be traumatized, and it doesn't help with their final outcome. Our politicians, the MPs, the DCs, in fact, most of them, the families will fall on them to assist them to transport the body to areas that has mortuary services. And over here, the closest you can get is Kratchi. It will take you 1 hour 30 minutes or 2 hours if your car is good to get there. And the other place is Nkonta. And from here to Nkonta, the Eastern Corridor road, the road is not good and it's far. And so that is the other place that bodies can be sent for preservation. The other place is Yendi. And that one is also over 2 hours. Luckily, the road is good, but you still need a good car to be able to get there. Sometimes people go as far as Tamale to preserve their bodies. And so, until the construction of this hospital, which we just commissioned, this is how people preserve their bodies.
Christopher, before you go, let's look at the monetary value of this very facility. How much was invested in the construction of this new mortuary? That's if you have an idea.
Yes, the medical superintendent of the hospital actually mentioned that the project had to take a loan facility to be able to put up the project. So it spanned for a very long time before they are able to complete the project. But they are happy that it is going to ease the burden of the people. He actually mentioned an amount that I cannot recollect right now, but a lot went into the construction of this particular facility.
Thank you so much, Christopher. And Christopher Marco is our correspondent. And the burial burden of citizens of Pandai have been eased following the construction of a new mortuary. We'll follow up on this very development and update you in the subsequent bulletins. And now the over 200,000 delegates of the main opposition New Patriotic Party will in a little over 3 weeks decide who heads the party into the 2028 polls. Ahead of that, Vice President of Imani Africa and lawyer Kofi Bento believes Dr. Bawumia, who has been loyal to the MPP for almost 2 decades, stands tall among the 5 candidates. There's more in the following report.
In a little over 3 weeks, the New Patriotic Party NPP presidential primaries will decide who leads the party into the 2028 general election. The January 31 primaries will be contested by former MP of Asen Central, Ken Ohene Japan, and former Agric Minister and Member of Parliament for Abetifi, Dr. Brian Champon. The race will also feature former Vice President and 2024 presidential candidate Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, former Education Minister and MP for Bosomtwe, Dr. Yao Osei Edichum, and former General Secretary Kwabena Eje Japan. Ahead of that, the Executive Director of Global Info Analytics, Musa Dankwa, has been explaining findings from his latest survey, which still puts former Vice President Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia ahead.
55.8 said they would have preferred Bawumia to lead, and 28.2 said Kennedy Ohene Ajepo. 6.2 Dr. Brian Achampon, 5.5 Dr. Yao Osei Edichum, and 4.3 Engineer Kwabena Ajepo. This is the public decision, not delegate decision.
Speaking on the key point, CEO of the National Petroleum Authority, NPA, Godwin Eduji Tamaklu, says the decision to hold the New Patriotic Party NPP presidential primaries before electing new national executives was a ploy to favor the former Vice President, Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia. He added that this move effectively gave an advantage to Dr. Bawumia in the race.
President Akufo-Addo is a very crafty, smart politician and had built the infrastructure for Bawumia in 2023. So the very moment his other opponents decided that let's allow him to be elected flag bearer before we even do branch, constituency, regional, national elections, that was the day they surrounded the election.
For Vice President of Imani Africa and private legal practitioner Kofi Bento, the former Vice President Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia is ahead of all the contenders in the MPP flag bearership race. Kofi Bento added that Dr. Bawumia has built his career and public trust over the last 20 years.
Who doubts in their right analysis that Dr. Bawumia is head and shoulders above all of them? You need to appreciate that in perspective. That a man stays in the front for about 20 years, manages to be who he has been for 20 years, okay? Manages to be part of the government which was just voted out, okay? And still is the most popular. It should tell you something about the quality of that man.
Former Member of Parliament for Sanitation North, Andy Kwame Apiakubi, believes Dr. Brian Champong could cause an upset in the MPP primaries.
I see depreciation in the figures of the other two.
The two, Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia and Kennedy Champong.
From one polling that I'm privy to, and all heading towards Dr. Brian Champong. We've done some profiling, giving us very comfortable figures. Suggestive of Dr. Brian Champong winning as a surprise candidate. Very sure that the next results coming from Musa will capture the trend, the new trend.
As the countdown to January 31 continues, and with the various campaigns winding down, all eyes remain on the MPP presidential primaries, the first by one of the two major political parties ahead of the 2028 general elections. Will it be one round victory, or will delegates force the race into a second round? The delegates who vote on January 31 will ultimately decide.
For more updates on this presidential primaries, the right place to be is TV3. We're going for our very first commercial break. We're back with more news. Stay with us.
Was that there was a shortage in supply. They simply didn't have enough dollars to supply the market.
What explanation would you give to a section of the public who would say that, well, the indicators are good, but I don't feel it?
Those who argue that way appear not to understand what they are talking about.
Over the past year, there are those who say that oral has failed. What's your
Again, it's
reaction
one of
to
those
that?
things that people say without any basis.
Is it the NDC going after Jean Mensah? With
as far as I know, the NDC has not brought a petition against Jean Mensah. The people who have petitioned are identifiable people. When the time comes, I'm sure she will know who her accusers are, and she will have an opportunity to confront them.
The issue of illegal mining.
Yes.
Has this government achieved much?
A lot of things are happening, even though I'll be the first to concede that we have not achieved fully the objective of eradicating galamsey. But the pace at which we are going and the way that NIMOS is working, on a daily basis, they disrupt the activities of people engaging in illegal mining. So we expect that within reasonable time, we will overcome this canker.
Hot Issues shows on Sundays at 1 p.m. on TV3. TV3.
There have been mixed reactions to the assessment of President Mohammed's first year in office, largely along political lines. As the NDC administration enters its second year, Ghanaians will be watching closely for progress in easing the cost of living. Analysts say the coming months will be crucial in shaping public perceptions ahead of the next elections in 2028. There's more in this report.
Mahama, in his New Year address to Ghanaians, touched on the challenges his administration inherited and the successes chalked in the last 1 year.
Our beloved nation, Ghana, is rising again. We've accomplished a lot together in the past 12 months through prudent management and difficult but necessary reforms. We've reduced inflation from the distressing levels above 23% by the end of 2024 and are hopeful to end 2025 with inflation at single digits of just above 5%. We've restored business confidence and have seen a significant increase in both domestic and foreign direct investment.
A new national tracking poll by Global Info Analytics reveals that majority of Ghanaians believe the country is headed in the right direction. Executive Director of Global Info Analytics, Musaki Dankwa, has been explaining the key findings on the key points.
3 months ago, it was the same percentage roughly as now. It means something is right in the sampling, which we've always been kind of crucified on. If the sampling is not right, the numbers will be yo-yoing across. And if you watch, we pick these samples across many places randomly, and the differences are insignificant.
Insignificant,
yes.
You see. And you say and you change location.
Yes, we do. Yes,
from,
absolutely.
So
absolutely.
This set of sample size was different from what you polled in December.
In fact, this is much broader sample size.
I see.
But the results, the same.
You had more people.
More people in the December than we had in October.
Executive Director of the National Petroleum Authority, NPA, Godwin Eduji Tameklo, has said President John Dramani Mahama is providing good governance, which has been felt by Ghanaians. Speaking on the key points, Eduji Tameklo further pointed out that there was no doubt the Mahama administration inherited a difficult economy last year.
In fact, MPP members are today enjoying the change. And so, deliberately, you can see the benefit. If you go to the pumps today, petrol diesel is selling between 12 and 11. What it tells, even with the 1 Ghana cedi levy, what it tells you is that significantly, there's a cedi savings of almost 3 cedis.
Vice President of Imani African private legal practitioner Kofi Bentel, in assessing President Mahama's first year in office, says the real challenge will be what happens in the next 3 years.
When you see good things, commend them.
Yes.
And whatever we did to get these things, let's continue to do those things. The task or the challenge is what happens in the next 3 years. I hear them talk about $5 billion worth of infrastructure. If they are able to invest $5 billion in infrastructure
without borrowing.
I'm coming there. If they're able to do that without borrowing and complete what they want to do, I will stand here, commend them, and clap for them.
For the former Member of Parliament for Asante Achim North, Andy Kwame Apiakubi, when things work well, every Ghanaian benefits.
When you see a good thing, support it. I will not challenge if the figures are right, but let me see sustainability in it. And if I have any contribution to make it work better for all of us, why not? Me, I'm not particularly interested in who is doing it. I'm particularly interested in who are enjoying it. And if all of us are enjoying from whoever, I think it will be better.
As the Mahama administration moves into its second year, Ghanaians and stakeholders will be watching closely to see how the government builds on its early successes. Will the second year bring relief from the cost of living crisis as inflation drops? And what further policy measures will the government take to address ongoing economic and social challenges? The public will be watching the government's performance in 2026.
In more news this afternoon, the Vice President has called on students to shun dishonesty and commit themselves to diligent learning. Speaking at this year's Pensa Ghana conference, the Vice President admonished the youth to see themselves as the next leaders of the country and urged them to be positively ambitious. Take a listen.
The atmosphere was electric at the 2026 Pensa Ghana Gospel and Power Conference as the Vice President, Professor Nana Jane Opoku-Agyeman, entered the auditorium, drawing together thousands of young believers from across the nation. The conference was marked by songs of praise and worship. The gathering reflected both the diversity and unity of purpose within the Church of Pentecost, a church steadily mobilizing its youth for kingdom impact. Addressing the congregation, the Vice President charged the participants to see themselves as agents of positive change in society.
Every hour spent learning a difficult concept, every assignment revised carefully, and every effort made, even when dishonesty seems easier, are investments in your credibility. Academic dishonesty is not a minor mistake. It is an early warning sign. When shortcuts become normal in a classroom, they do not vanish in professional life. Nations that stumble, they do not stumble because their citizens lack intelligence. They stumble when standards decline.
She further encouraged young women not to allow challenges in their various workplaces to hinder their progress, emphasizing that habits and choices have lasting consequences.
You may enter rooms where expectations are uneven and standards are applied unevenly. Do not let that unfairness paralyze you. Leadership does not require you to trade your beliefs for acceptance, or excellence for conformity. Ghana requires your full intellect, your judgment, your resolve. Scripture reminds us to be diligent workers who handle truth with integrity and confidence.
The conference ended with a renewed call for discipline, integrity, and faith-driven leadership among the youth as they prepare to shape the future of the nation.
You're still watching Weekend Central on TV3. We're going for a first commercial break. We'll be back shortly. Stay with us. Regional Hub this afternoon, a new 3-unit classroom block has been handed over to the Penakrom Nyamebetre MA Business School in the Sefirioso municipality of the Western North region. The new facility replaces a dilapidated structure which posed danger to pupils and teachers.
For a decade, education at Penakrom Nyamebetre Junior High School was a battle against the elements. Overcrowded rooms and leaking roofs were just distractions. They were barriers to a future. During the rainy season, lessons often come to a complete halt.
This facility is going to help a lot to improve the education status of this school, because previously there was a lot of challenges. Our old classrooms were very small, and since the number of the students were increasing, it was overcrowding. Teachers could not move through to supervise the work of the learners. The classroom was hot. So now that you've got spacious classrooms, the teachers can work effectively. The same thing applies to the students. They also learn comfortably.
Today, the atmosphere has shifted from despair to relief. A modern 3-unit legacy classroom block now stands in place of the old ruins, a project that teachers and learners are describing as a dream come true.
We thank the president and the MC, the director of education and 8 members for making this project for us, because at first our school was so poor in state. So we thank them for making this project for us. We thank them for hearing our cry. Thank you. We are happy for this project. Thank you.
The municipal chief executive, Dominic Jesse, urged the school authorities to keep a good maintenance culture so the building can serve its purpose.
The project will be built all right. Looking at what we have in our background here, it's beautiful. But with time we realized that it wouldn't be in the same state as it finds itself to be. What we call on managers of the schools, and for that matter the owners of the communities, is that they take good and proper care of the facilities that we are constructing for them. And also maintenance culture, which has been a bigger problem. We entreat them that they would be up and doing and maintain wherever they have any defect, in order that the school or the facility will continue to be in a shape that would actually help the teaching and learning process.
For the pupil, the new desks and solid walls represent a fair chance at a successful education. For TV3 News, Matthew Ahiave, Sefirioso, Western North Region.
What do you make of the educational challenges of Penakrom Nyamebetre? We are active on Facebook. Engage us. Hopefully read your comments and share them to the rest of the world. And now, the Minister of Local Government, Chieftaincy and Religious Affairs, Ahmed Ibrahim, has tasked local assemblies to rigorously enforce sanitation bylaws. This move is part of a broader effort to enhance cleanliness and hygiene in our communities.
Sunyani, once a cleaner city in Ghana, is now plagued by garbage and waste, leading to an unsightly and unsanitary environment for residents. Local authorities are frustrated and are calling for immediate action to restore cleanliness. During a cleanup exercise to commemorate the National Sanitation Day, Minister for Local Government, Chieftaincy and Religious Affairs, Ahmed Ibrahim, empowered assemblies to enforce sanitation bylaws to improve the situation.
Everybody must be responsible for your frontage. Everybody must be responsible for your household. Everybody must make sure that your house is clean. Sanitation guards are going to be recruited by the municipality. Environmental officers will be going out, and there will be a sanitation court. If it happens that those laws are breached, then the perpetrators will be booked and face the consequences of the law. So it is not just going to be something superficial. Some cabinet directives, presidential directives, which are going to be backed by the minister and be implemented by the municipalities, including the local sanitation laws. And those directives are going to be domesticated.
In conjunction with this initiative, the paramount chief of the Sunyani traditional area, Odefo Ojamansan Buahinkoko II, has unveiled a new plan to conduct by city cleaning every 2 weeks aiming to engage residents and promote a cleaner environment. Government is doing its part to ensure cleanliness in the city, and we, as the custodians of the land, will also do ours. We will not do it monthly again, but rather every 2 weeks. So littering indiscriminately is seized from today. Otherwise, you will be dealt with. The Sunyani Municipal Chief Executive, Vincent Ntreje, has reiterated his dedication to ensuring that the Assembly's bylaws are strictly enforced to achieve the sanitary goals set forth.
I'm very happy that we have the backing of our sector ministry, that is local government and sanitation ministry. I have the backing of the MP, my region minister, and all other stakeholders. So I want to use this platform to urge that where or when a citizen is being confronted with any of our rules and you are being subjected to the sanctions, please, you should go through it to ensure that Sunyani once again becomes the cleanest city. We can't sit aloof to just see the place just being messy like that.
As these initiatives are rolled out, local assemblies are tasked with a crucial role of monitoring compliance and fostering community participation. Claude Kumi Ebisa, TV3 News, Sunyani.
Away from issues relating to National Sanitation Day, residents of Babili in the Laura municipality of the Upper West region are calling for the immediate use of an abandoned fire station that has been left to crumple in the bush. Correspondent Ibrahim Wangara reports that the site has become a gathering spot for miscreants.
The fire station, which was completed 5 years ago, has been overtaken by weeds. Several attempts by residents, including the former assembly member and regent of Babili, to make the facility operational have proved futile. The community, while carrying out its routine clearing of weeds around the abandoned fire station, lamented that authorities continue to neglect its safety and security needs.
And they completed the structure in 2020. Unfortunately, after the building, the construction of the building, it was left there unattended to. So we, the community, especially the youth, made follow-ups several times to the assembly and to the MP, yet we are not seeing any headway. So it is actually a worry. It's a fire-prone area, I'm telling you. Severally, about 3 occasions, the market got burned. The last one, the whole market got burned completely. So it has been a worry. And all these things, there are reports to that. We have written reports to the assembly, yet we don't know what they are doing.
As a former assemblyman, during my time, we went to assembly and then they added that if we can use whatever revenue that we mobilize around the area council to buy some furniture and bedding for at least about 4 or so fire officers who can come and then stay there and then help. So we did that. We procured some beds and mattresses, and then we have stocked the place. Yet when we approached them for the authorization of the place, they said that they needed an additional bungalow for the chief fire officer who will be resident at the place. And then the community doesn't have the capacity to put up such structures.
The head of the Municipal Security Council, who also serves as the Municipal Chief Executive for Laura, Soyala Cecilia Nuratu, assured the community of her office support.
The fire post that has been abandoned, when I peeped there, I realized light was its problem. Then the youth also added that they needed water there for its operation and some renovation. We will try to work out, taking the guidelines from the legacy projects, then we'll repackage it and see what needs to be done.
Well, that's all time will allow us. It's actually the second edition of Weekend Central for the year 2026. For more news update, just log on to our website. It's 3news.com. Alternatively, join my colleagues Noble Crosby and Grace Amwajman tonight on News 360 at 7 p.m. Kamini joins you at 1 p.m. with Hot Issues with the presidential spokesperson, Felix Kwashefo. Thanks for watching. It's always a pleasure coming your way. Good afternoon.